But I'm very comfortable talking to the media. Philly is a very hard media market. We were 9-0, and I did my presser, and they say, "Coach, we want you fired." And I said, well, we're the number one defense in the NFL right now in every statistical category. Why do you want me fired? You don't enough. I said, well, we lead the league in sacks by 30-plus sacks. So if you want to come call the defense, and you can have at it. But no, it's cool. They have a job to do, and I understand that. But
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Big Wagwan is back in the studio. Lord Brunson back at you with the back at you. And I'm the best reporting on the Eagles. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I got to let y'all know. The Ski Mask Howie shirt is definitely available via Print Champs. The hottest graphic tee in the merchandise game. You know what I mean? The Hurt Season hat. The hottest hat to ever come out merch-wise. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you tap in with Big Print Champs. You know our QB just got extended. Stay in step with the movement. More great things to come on that front. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. So you heard it, man. Jonathan Gannon crying. Jonathan Gannon selling our name. Jonathan Gannon doing his best to make it seem like we are something other than what we claim to be in the media in Philadelphia. Now, Philadelphia is a tough market. I agree with him there. You know what I mean? A lot of people did want him gone. I agree with him there. But you could talk about all the fantastic things that you did, whether it be the sacks, whether it be how great the defense was on paper. But in the Super Bowl, we look like what you normally do. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line. That's the facts of the matter. So, you know, hopefully with him coming out, you know, crying, trying to throw salt on the media name, don't we got to run into them this year? I mean, hopefully him coming out there doing all of that, wetting the bed, you know what I mean, in the Super Bowl, not wanting to give a press conference. Hopefully all that is going to be over with once we trash them dudes in the regular season. But, you know, I wish the best of luck to Jonathan Gannon. It just wasn't a smooth fit here. Because you can't come here and wet the bed in the Super Bowl like that and think we're supposed to forgive you because you had great regular season achievements. We not Dallas. We don't care about your regular season achievements. You know what I mean? We were trying to win that thing. You couldn't get one stop to get the ball back to the best. You know, I'm one of the best QBs in the game, man, for a game-winning drive. You just couldn't do it. So, whatever, man. You know, enjoy. This Matt Patricia thing really bothering me. It's really bothering me, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. When I found out that we, you know, brung Matt Patricia in some defensive capacity now, I'm hearing he's not going to be calling plays. He's like an advisor or whatever the term that they use to describe his role, his position, and his place here with the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I mean? I kind of understand. I understand a little bit. You know what I mean? I understand a little bit, but some guys, I just believe, just have a toxic nature about them. Now, if you remember, Matt Patricia and Slay, they had a thing going. You know what I mean? Where Slay didn't like the way he was addressing them. I think Matt Patricia actually came to Slay and told Slay, "You not a star," or something like that. You know, I can't really get the exact quote off the top of my head, but I remember it was kind of disrespectful, and Slay took offense to that. I think it was one of the major reasons why Slay wanted to get up out of there. You know what I mean? And come to Philly, like, we wasn't the world beaters when Slay got here. You know what I mean? Anything is better than being in Detroit, especially in a toxic environment. You know what I mean? When you think of Detroit now, you think about Dan Campbell and them guys, you know, fighting a real scrappy team. When Matt Patricia was over there, them dudes was pretty trash. They was trash on both sides of the ball, for real. And I don't blame Slay for wanting to get out of there. You know what I mean? But what can Matt Patricia do for us? We already hired a defensive coordinator in Sean Desai. What can Matt Patricia, and this is the second year in a row we flirted with this Matt Patricia thing. You know what I mean? But now we've made it a reality. What can Matt Patricia do for the Philadelphia Eagles? What can he do? You know what I mean? Let's talk about it for a second, man. His coaching record. Matt Patricia is 13-29. 13-29, you know what I mean, as the coach for the Detroit Lions from 2018 to 2020. 6-10, 3-12, 4-7. 13-29, I don't know if that's all time, but just them 3 years alone. You know what I mean? I don't think he was there more than 3 years, but 13-29. 13-29. That's crazy. That's what 43 games, you 13-29? Come on, man. I think it's a lot of his name and a lot of his pedigree. Now, everybody got to say he was the head coach, but he was thought of as a defensive guru, as a defensive specialist. You know what I mean? Matt Patricia was supposed to be a defensive guru, so why is Detroit's defense this bad? Why is Detroit's defense this bad? 2.5 years ago, the Detroit Lions hired a man considered a defensive guru. They're talking about Matt Patricia. This came out October 2020. To help take the team from mediocrity to a consistent contender. To not only make the playoffs occasionally, but win playoff games too. That's what Matt Patricia was there for. You know, they questioning why the defense was so bad. In this article, Matt Patricia's defensive scheme and the combined knowledge he and general manager Bob Quinn provided were supposed to take Detroit places. Head coach Jim Caldwell did not. 36 games. Now, this article was written 36 games in. We gave you what he did in 43 games. 36 games into Patricia's tenure. That hasn't happened. It's due in large part to the side of the ball Patricia is known so well. Defense. The Lions, 1-3 at the time of this, are once again near the bottom of the league in many major defensive categories, including yards per game. 405. You know what I mean? That's number 28 at the time of this. Yards per play, 6.1. That's number 26 at the time of this. Rushing yards per game, 170. Dude was averaging a buck 70 on the ground against them. That's number 32 at the time against this. Come on, bro. And yards per rush, 5.16. Number 29. I mean, listen, man. There's no reason why he should be here. And I think he's a guy that benefited. Now, I'm not going to say he benefited off of the Belichick experience. I think more so he benefited off of the Tom Brady experience. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Let's talk about it for a second. It should come as no surprise that the Patriots offense has done just about everything they can to help out their defense. Here's how the Patriots have ranked in offensive turnovers each year. This is why Matt Patricia was the defensive coordinator. 6th from 2012 in offensive turnovers. 13th first in 2013, 2014 first, 2015 first, 2016 third, 2017 second. You know what I mean? 2017 second. So what does that tell you? That they always put the defense in favorable field position because they're not turning over the ball. They're not turning over the ball. And that's just what this other chart shows right here. It shows how that manifested. Well, not this other chart, but you get my drift. And that shows how it manifested for the defense. Check out where they rank in starting field position. So this is where Matt Patricia's defense is ranked in starting field position during those Brady years and all of those years that got his name the buzz. 2012, 6th, 2013, 3rd, 2014, 2nd, 2015, 2nd, 2016, 1st, 2017, 1st. You know what I mean? Great field position. What did the Philadelphia Eagles defense do last year that was so great? Put the offense in great field position. The offense didn't really have to dig themselves out of any holes. So that's a kudos to Jonathan Gannon and what the defense was doing by creating turnovers and things of that nature. And also, your quarterback got to be able to not turn the ball over. You know what I mean? And it works both ways. Matt Patricia benefited from a great quarterback like Tom Brady not turning over the ball, and also, you know, either scoring points and having the defense start in favorable positions. In Detroit, without that star power, it wasn't likely. I just don't know what Matt Patricia is going to bring to the table. Now, we got a lot of stars on the defensive side of the ball, but what is Matt Patricia here for? Just because the name? It just don't make no sense, man. It don't make no sense. I don't get it. But, you know, the Philadelphia Eagles had a visit with Brian Branch. You know what I mean? This happened about 2 days ago while I was still in Jamaica, I think. Yeah, like a day or two ago. And I'm really, really high on Brian Branch. Really high on Brian Branch. Brian Branch is one of those players that can do a lot. You know what I mean? And do a lot for this team. He automatically fills the C.J. Gardner-Johnson void. You know what I mean? And I also think that drafting Brian Branch, you know, with the 10th pick in this draft, it wouldn't be a mistake. It'll be one of those picks that say, we're trying to add stars to the defense, because that's exactly what he is. Somebody who could play from any position on the field. Probably one of the highest IQs in this draft. I think he got the highest IQ in this draft. The best tackling defensive back in this draft. Can diagnose a running back screen. Can diagnose a bubble screen to a wide receiver. The dude's IQ is off the charts. His reaction time is off the charts. Reminds me a lot of Gardner-Johnson. Can play from the slot. Very, very physical. You know what I mean? You see his tape of this guy taking on. Let's just get into the tape.
Now, it's one thing to be good at blitzing from the cornerback position or the safety position, but when you blitzing from that position and making the plays, those are the guys that kind of stand out when I look at film on defensive backs. And over again, Brian Branch shows his physicality, shows his IQ, and shows his alertness at the point of contact from multiple positions on the field. The Eagles don't really do a lot of blitzing from, cornerback or safety positions. But this guy's versatile. I think if you were to draft a guy like this, it would just prove that he's great in the box and he's great in coverage, man. He could do it all. He truly can do it all. From the safety position, from the slot position, he's worthy of the 10th pick in this draft, if you ask me. Covering on the outside, shutting down routes, being physical in the box. I don't think nobody tackles better than this guy from his position in the draft. Diagnosing screens, diagnosing jet sweep, whatever, a jet sweep. The IQ is there. Look, and always first to the ball, first to react. Very short tackler. Just a guy that you could depend on, man, for all 3 downs. It's a 3-down safety. You don't have to move him out of the field if guys are running the ball too much and bring in Edmonds for box safety support. He can do everything. You know what I mean? He's young. He's fast. I keep using the word physicality. I hate to knock on the door, but, his coverage can't go unnoticed as well because he's great at covering. Right here, he just reads the route and runs it with the runner of the wide receiver. And you just can't find a lot of guys that can do that from the nickel position and also guys that can play safety. His awareness